Welcome back to the world of economics. Today we shall learn a little bit more about economics as basic economic activities, which is lesson 6. Learners, in this presentation we will talk about basic economic activities, production, consumption and capital formation. We shall also understand the factors of production, which is land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship and their respective factor incomes. Production, consumption and capital formation are called the basic economic activities of an economy. Scarce resources are used in the production of goods and services with the objective of satisfying our needs and wants. The process of satisfying our needs and wants through production of goods and services is carried by combining the factors such as land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship. Factors in return are paid rent, wages, interest and profit for their productive services. The consumption activity consists of the use of goods and services for the direct satisfaction of individual or collective human wants. A part of current production is saved for the future to add to the existing capital stock, such as in plant, which is production plants, machinery, buildings, etc. Every year, in order to expand production potential in future, we save as capital for the future. So, whatever is produced is disposed of or used either for consumption now or for capital formation for the future or both. Let us understand a little bit more about production. Previously, we have discussed regarding scarcity of resources and making choice. These scarce resources are used in the production of goods and services. The goal of production is to satisfy our wants. The goods and services produced can be sold in markets or can be provided by the government for the public at nominal charges so that they satisfy various wants. In other words, production is defined as creation of utility, where utility is the want satisfying power of a commodity. Production activities involve making of goods and services. People who make and sell these goods and services are known as producers. The producers combine the factors, which is land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship, along with raw materials and transform them into various goods and services having different utility or want satisfying power. Land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship are hence called the factors of production. Profit maximizing producers try to produce maximum amount of goods and services by using various combination of factors of production. Let us know more about these factors of production one by one. First and foremost is land. Land is a gift of nature. We all know that. It includes plain regions, mountains and plateaus. The plain region is useful for agriculture and industrial activities. Mountains ensure flow of rivers into the plain region and provide, besides other things, facilities for cattle rearing and of course tourism. Plateau region possesses reserves of minerals, fossil fuels and forests. Production of food grains, vegetables, fruits, etc. require agricultural land in the plain regions. Along with this, people also carry out animal husbandry, fisheries and forestries, which are called allied activities. In India, rural area is known for carrying out agricultural and allied activities. Some amount of land in the plain region is specially developed to establish industries and urban areas such as towns and cities. That's another use of land. Labor, the next factor of production, implies the human effort through physical and mental manpower or exertions in the production of goods and services. A person working on the agricultural field is said to provide his physical labor, while his mental labor also is provided through combination of other factors. A writer is said to provide mental labor. People who provide labor are known as human resources. Production activities require both skilled and unskilled labor. Purely physical labor such as loading and unloading, ploughing on the field, etc., do not require special skills. However, to become an engineer, a doctor, a teacher, a lawyer, a mechanic, an electrician or a tailor, etc., one has to acquire skills through education and training. Capital, the third factor of production, is all man-made machines and appliances and all types of wealth used in production. Capital consists of machinery, tools, buildings, materials, etc. Whereas land is a natural resource, capital is a man-made resource. Capital is used to increase the efficiency of all other factors of production, more so of land and labor. The efficiency of land can be increased by use of better irrigation facilities and machines. However, capital is a passive factor of production and cannot be used without employing labor to work. Can you work on a machine without a person working on that machine? No. Capital has a limited span of life and becomes obsolete after a certain period. Small tools like screwdrivers, calculators, and heavy machines such as engines, tractors, ships are all examples of fixed capital, as they can be used in production for many years. Fixed capital also includes the buildings and heavy machines. The working capital includes raw materials such as cotton yarn, clay, seeds, fertilizers, which are used up in the process of production. This brings us to the fourth factor of production, which is entrepreneurship. Somebody must take the initiative to start the process of production of goods and services by bringing land, labor, and capital together in right proportion. He will be using the right type of land, labor, and capital, and will also be taking important decisions with respect to quantity to be produced, money to be spent to buy the factors and the raw material. Also, decision regarding marketing the output produced, and all such decisions are the decisions of the person who brings together these factors of production, that is the entrepreneur. So, entrepreneurship is the art of organizing the production activity. The person who makes the decisions and controls the production process and bears the risks and uncertainties involved in production is called an entrepreneur. He or she should be knowledgeable, courageous, and should possess leadership qualities. The objective of an entrepreneur is to get maximum production by using the given resources and also make arrangements for the sale of the finished product or the output. He or she is also responsible to make payments to other factors of production. He or she pays wages to laborers, rent to the landlords, and interest to the owner of capital in return for their productive services. for the effort and risk taking. An entrepreneur earns profit. Since these payments, rent, wages, interest and profits are received by the factors for their productive services, they are termed as factor incomes. Let us know more about factor incomes. The factors of production are owned by people. Land is owned by the landlord. Labor is owned by a laborer. Capital is owned by people who acquire capital goods. And entrepreneurship is owned by the entrepreneur. The owners of factors of production are paid in return for their productive services. When you hire a piece of land, you pay rent to the landlord for using the services of land. Thus, the tenant pays rent for the services of land used. Labor, which refers to the services rendered by the workers, and of course all types of labor such as manual labor, technical labor and so on. When an employer requires the services rendered by a worker, he or she is ready to pay for these services. By hiring a worker, actually the services are hired. When a loan is taken from a bank to buy a tractor or seeds or machinery, interest is paid to the bank. Rent is paid to the landlords, wages to the laborers, interest to the owners of capital resources and profit to the entrepreneurs as factor incomes. Since they are paid in return for their productive services, they are called factor payments, and the incomes of the factors are called factor incomes. Now, let us understand consumption. The objective of production is to produce goods and services for consumption. The consumption activity consists of the use of goods and services for the direct satisfaction of individual and collective human wants or needs. To satisfy their needs, the households purchase a large variety of goods such as cycles, furniture, television set, car, refrigerator, food grains, milk, oil, soap, etc. and services such as that of a barber, a teacher, a doctor, a banker and an insurance company, etc. Please remember, there is no time gap between the production and consumption of services. In case of services, production and consumption take place simultaneously. Services are consumed as soon as they are produced. You can take the example of doctors, lawyers, teachers, etc. As a service is rendered, it is considered to be consumed. This is not the case with regard to goods. There is a time gap between the production and consumption of goods. Goods are considered to be consumed when they are purchased. However, certain durable goods like furniture, cycles, cars, etc. continue to provide services for many years, yet they are considered to be consumed as soon as they are purchased. Let's come to capital formation, the third basic economic activity now. The third important activity of an economy is capital formation. As we have already understood that factor owners get factor incomes in return for their productive services. They spend a large part of their incomes on goods and services such as food articles, cloth, furniture, housing, bicycles, education, healthcare, etc. However, they do not spend their entire income on these goods and services. They also save some income and deposit it in the bank for future use. For example, if an individual has an income of rupees 500, all of which she or he may consume, then there will be no saving left. Instead, if he or she restricts the consumption to rupees 300, then there is a saving of 200 rupees. and this may be used to deposit in the bank for future use. The bank in turn may use this money to lend an industrialist to invest in the expansion of business. Capital formation is done by refraining from present consumption. It should be noted that saving, if kept idle, cannot constitute capital formation. If a person saves money and locks it up in the house, no capital formation takes place. If only the saved money is invested in capital goods, it leads to capital formation, because then it facilitates production and future consumption. Thus, current consumption is foregone and used towards adding to existing capital stock, such as plant, machinery, building, etc., every year in order to expand production potential in the future. This increase in the stock of capital goods in a year is called capital formation or investment. Similarly, a part of nation's output is devoted not to immediate satisfaction of consumer wants, but to the provision of plants and equipments by which production is maintained and expanded. If you want to sum up, what one can say is that whatever is produced is disposed of either for consumption or for capital formation or both. These three economic activities, namely production, consumption and capital formation, are very much interrelated. An increase in the production of goods and services increases the level of consumption and capital formation. Increase in consumption also leads to an increase in the standard of living of people and hence increase in capital formation. These are very important to the growth of an economy. More consumption is possible if there is more production, and more production is possible if there is more capital formation. Thus, the three economic activities have their impact on each other to take the economy forward to the path of development. So, learners, in today's presentation, you have learnt about the three basic economic activities of production, consumption and capital formation, and how these are executed with the help of the four factors of production: land, labor, capital and entrepreneurship, and in return for their productive activities, they get rent, interest, wages and profits. So, all the best to you, and I hope that you will be able to answer all your queries on the basic economic activities. Thank you.